Hello good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here. Today I'm bringing you my final impressions video for the Tier 9 Premium French battleship, Jean Bart. Now the Jean Bart, I have already said it's a good ship. Also, if you're just watching this video, I would highly recommend going back and watching my first impressions and second impressions video of the Jean Bart. That gives you a better idea of where I'm coming from. Because the way this review system works for me, I do a first impressions video that's usually the day or the day after the ship comes out, and I just, do live commentary over my first 4 or 5 games in said ship, and it, so you get my first why it's called first impressions. You get my first impressions of the ship. Then the second impressions video, which comes out usually a day or two later. That's usually by the time I've had to play quite a few games, usually around 10 or 15, sometimes 20, depending upon what ship it is. At the Massachusetts, I think I had over 50 games already played in her by the time of right before or right after the second impressions video of the Massachusetts came out. And then the final impressions video usually comes out a while later. Some ships longer than others, just depending upon how much I play them. The Jean Bart, I've been playing the Jean Bart a whole lot. That's why this final impressions video is coming out not too long after the second impressions video of the Jean Bart. So we'll give you a quick rundown of the ship, and then we'll get into what I finally think of her. So she is, for all intents and purposes, a roided up Richelieu class battleship. And yeah, that's basically the quickest way to describe the Jean Bart. She's got 4 15-inch guns. Her shells are, of course, it's that really fast French AP shell. It comes in at 830 meters a second. So even though it is a small caliber, well, small in quotation marks caliber of battleship gun, she's still able to punch above her weight class, and that's one thing we'll talk about later, and you'll know when I'm talking about it. Now her secondary, she has pretty much the same secondaries as the Alsace, the Tech Line Tier 9 French battleship. So you could do a secondary build with this ship. However, you would have to invest in it pretty heavily for it to be really effective. And I love secondary builds, don't get me wrong. Because my favorite playstyle is, of course, brawling. But I would not recommend a secondary build for the Jean Bart. We'll get into that in a bit. AA is also no slouch either. I actually have an AA rating of 100 on the Jean Bart right now. Don't even have an AA build on her. This is definitely a ship that you can not worry about carriers coming after you a lot. I mean, if they want to come after you, it's going to cost them pretty dang heavily if they want to come after you, because they're going to lose a lot, if not all of their planes, unless it's like a tier 10 carrier. But other than that, great AA. Her maneuverability or top speed is only 30 knots, which is 2 knots slower than the Richelieu. However, you do get the speed boost consumable, which brings it up to 32 knots, so brings you up to the base max speed of the Richelieu. Yeah. That's really the only advantage the Richelieu has over the Jean Bart, is that it's 2 knots faster, and you won't miss those 2 knots in the Jean Bart. Turning circle radius after 50 meters. Rudder shift time is 16 seconds. Concealment, this is with the module and not the captain skill. Her concealment radius detection by sea is 14.3 kilometers. Probably get that down to around 13-ish kilometers with the module, with the captain skill. So,
the ship is on fire.
The Jean Bart. The biggest thing about this ship is that her guns benefit from the reload booster that you can, well, not that you can equip, that you do have equipped with the Jean Bart. That reload booster, you hit that button and your reload will be cut in half down to around 10 seconds. Now, that is, of course, if you have the main battery, was it mod 3? Yeah, main battery mod 3, which reduces the reload time at the cost of turret traverse speed, which you don't really need to worry about because both of our turrets are in the front of the ship, so all our guns are pointing forward, so you don't have to worry about having to rotate them from one side to the other too much. Plus, they're pretty fast anyway. I believe they're, I think, still like a 30-something second. Yeah, 180 times 35 seconds, plenty fast enough, especially for the gun setup. So that will give you a base reload time of 22 seconds on 8 15-inch guns with very nice velocity. That's already a pretty good deal right there. But like I said, you get that reload booster, you get that down to 11 seconds. And if you have adrenaline rush on top of that, the way this thing eats HE rounds, you're going to have a really fast reload time. In fact, at the clip that I'm showing up on the screen right now, toward the end of the game, my health gets down very, very low, and I believe I have something like a 17 or 18 second base reload speed before I hit the reload booster. If you hit your reload booster when your health is that low, you will have an 8 or 9 second reload time on battleship caliber guns. Let that sink in for a second. That's right, the damage potential of this ship is absolutely insane. And that's why I said you need to spend all of your points and modules building up your main battery guns. You can throw some captain points into the BFT and AFT if you just want to have really good AA, which is definitely worth it. But I wouldn't go beyond that in building building up the secondaries past that, because there's really no need to, because all of your damage comes from these these guns. You can easily do well over 100k every game in this ship, and it's not that hard to do because our rate of fire is so high. And that's where the armor comes into play, because it's so, it's like really crappy French 32mm armor everywhere layout, so it's just so meh in the armor department. But if you have adrenaline rush, you don't really care too much, because all that's doing is making your reload time get lower and lower and lower and lower, which means your rate of fire goes up, which means your damage goes up. It's a nice trade-off, and it's a bit gimmicky, but it's kind of a good gimmick, if you get what I'm saying, because there's a payoff for, you know, the really crappy armor. You get a really nice rate of fire out of a battleship. So it's a mixed bag, and if you want to look at it like that, you can look at it as either it's a mixed bag because of that, or you can look at that's how the ship is meant to be played. You know, you just eat damage, and in exchange your reload just gets faster and faster. But yeah, in that regard, she's a great ship. The economy on it's pretty good too. It's really easy to just, I mean, this ship can't print credits like the Missouri, but you'll have no problem getting quite a nice payday out of whatever round you're playing. I've made near to 2 million credits in this thing before with flags and a lot of damage, like well north of 100, and I think it was almost 200,000 damage on a victory when I was shooting a lot of tier 10 ships, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, I didn't have the round recorded, but again, great economy on this thing. So big question, is it worth the $80 or the coal? Coal, easy answer, yes, of course, it's totally worth the coal for this ship. Money though, it depends, because this ship costs around $80 out of the store. I would say if money isn't an issue with you and you just want a tier 9 premium just for, you know, credits and XP farming, totally worth it. This ship will do its best ship to do it right now. The Musashi, I know, is probably the other choice because of such great damage potential because of its huge guns. But the Musashi, yes, it has 18.1-inch guns, but they're not as accurate as the Yamatos. And while the Jean Bart's guns, I think the Sigma's like a little bit less or the same as the Musashi, the Jean Bart just has such a great rate of fire with the reload booster and the main battery mod 3. So I would say the Alsace, not the Alsace, my bad. The Jean Bart is the better choice for that purpose. So it's worth it if you don't mind. If you don't mind spending the money, it's worth it. If you just want to hold on to your money, you know, you're not sure if the ship's really worth it. Say you're saving money for Alaska. I would save your money for Alaska, because if like what I'm trying to say is, if you're already saving your money for something else in the game and wonder if you should spend it on Jean Bart, just save it for that, you know. But if this looks appealing to you in any way, you know, that you think you can do good in the ship, you just like the way the ship plays, it's worth the money in my opinion. It's a hefty price tag, but you do get a lot out of it. You get, you know, those nice fast firing 15-inch guns, which actually have better Sigma and better dispersion than the Richelieu. That reload consumable, and just the economy of it. I mean, I've made a ton of credits just playing the Jean Bart. So it's a good ship and worth the money if you're not too attached to your money, if you get what I'm saying. So definitely worth the money. Great ship. I would say it's definitely been worth the wait for the Jean Bart to come out. So if you like the video, make sure you drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers at the time of recording this. We're only 14 subscribers away from 1,000. That is crazy, you guys. I can't thank you guys enough for that. And when we get to 1,000, you guys are going to get a face reveal and some big, probably a big live stream too. Like, probably a live stream that'll take up most of the day, if my PC can handle it at least. But yeah, we're still close to that goal, so make sure you guys subscribe to help us get there. And plus, I put out World of Warships content every day except Sunday, and I'm actually streaming on Fridays and Sundays too now, so you still get World of Warships content. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be catching all of you guys in the next one.